Time for another video. We've got Edna pretty well wrapped up for the winter. We've got the cover on and got the desiccant set out and all of that. So we're not planning on using her anytime soon, but weather was okay today, and so I thought maybe it'd be a good day to make a little progress. The problem I want to take on today is the switch for the water pump. And I didn't realize it until I was reading some things online that this switch is apparently supposed to light up. It never has for us, so I guess the bulb is burned out. But I've heard about people wiring in a LED bulb in there so that when this is on, you get a light to just help give you another visual warning that you've got your water pump on. The main problem though is that it is really hard to switch. Like, it doesn't, there's something broken in there, so it wiggles a little bit. I guess maybe all of them do, but you have to push really hard to turn it on, and I'm afraid if we don't do something about that, it's gonna just break. The plastic's gonna break, it's gonna pop apart, and I've never seen one of these. Maybe you can get a replacement, but I really would like to keep this original one if I can. So I'm gonna take it apart, I'm gonna clean it, I'm gonna lubricate it, I'm gonna see if I can install a new light bulb of some sort and see if we can get it working the way it's supposed to. All right, so I took out the 4 screws to take out the panel here, and just got a plug on the back that unplugs pretty easily. There's 3 wires, connectors back there. These are the same kinds of switches that I've done some work on other places. So like the switch for the generator start is kind of a similar style of switch. And then the switches for the air ride, the original air ride system are like this. So maybe there is a way to get a replacement, but I haven't really seen these orange pump ones anywhere. So anyway, I've got it unscrewed, I've got the panel out, I've got this unplugged, and then there's a couple of metal clips on the back here. You can kind of see these metal clips that hold it into the panel. So to pop it out, basically just kind of push down on the metal clips. There's some on the top and some on the bottom, and then it just slides out the front like that. And then I'll work on this inside, but you can take this whole thing apart, and I'll see if I can clean it up and find out why it's not working. Okay, so I'm inside where it's nice and warm, and I'm going to start taking this apart. And there's a couple metal clips on the top and the bottom that basically kind of go behind this lip on the back of the plastic here. And I think what you do is just kind of carefully bend those up without bending them any more than you have to, because you don't want them to be permanently deformed, because then the switch will just never go back together again. So yep, that just popped out, and these ones popped back on, so try to get them here. Here we go. All right, so now the whole thing is sliding apart, and I want to be careful that I'm not losing any parts that might be in here. So there is a little light bulb in there, and the contact just fell out. So I'll take a look at that and see if it's causing problems. Here's the switch. And so the switch moves freely now, but it was not when it was all together. And so it could have something to do with this little spring and part right here. This basically rubs, you can kind of see the shiny part on the contact there. So that black part rubs back and forth on this, and depending on the position of the switch, it snaps back and forth to make contact or open the circuit. And so it looks like it's in pretty good shape. I don't see anything that's broken here. So it may just be that we need to lubricate things a bit, because it is pretty dry in there, but this isn't broken. I was kind of thinking maybe this was broken and causing a problem, or that the metal contact had broken, but that also looks good. I have some electronics cleaner. So it's a kind of spray electronics cleaner. I'll use this to clean up the dirt and gunk and stuff in there, and then I'll probably use a little dielectric grease to lubricate it a little bit, and that may fix it. I need to figure out how to take care of this light bulb though. So the light bulb has not been working, and I'll need to see how it's connected in there and see if I can get an LED to fit in there. So I think I'm going to use a flashlight and a magnifying glass and kind of look around in there and see what it looks like, clean it up, and we'll go from there. All right, so what I really needed here was some good light, and now it's pretty clear to see, yes, this is a light bulb, and there's a little wire coming off each side of this. One of these is apparently ground and the other one is power. I'll have to do a little checking to see which is which when I go to do my my LED replacement. These appear to be rivets, and so I don't see a way to, really attach new wires or leads from an LED to those other than solder. And so I'll see if maybe I can trim the wires that are here already close to the light bulb. The light bulb's got a little bit of darkness here, like it's burned out, so that's probably why it's not working. And I will get an LED and just see if I can set that up. As far as the other contacts and things here, it looks pretty good. I don't see anything broken or messed up. So I'm just going to work on cleaning everything up and put a little dielectric grease in there to lubricate it and see if that makes it work. Okay, so I've put it back together, but I lubricated the contacts on the spring. I used a little dielectric grease, so dielectric silicone compound for electronic systems, after I cleaned it up with my electronics cleaner. And it switches back and forth very nicely now, nice and smooth. I also installed a LED bulb. So it did have this little incandescent bulb in there that has a couple of leads coming off of it and was wired in. It probably lasted for lots of years, but it's, I think, easier to get an LED these days. And so I got some LEDs like this. These are rated for 12 volts. They've got a little resistor in the system here. So the white lead goes to positive and the black lead goes to ground. And it's nice and bright at 12 volts. I tested it out and I think it'll be good. So if you kind of look in the side here, you can see that bulb kind of inside of the switch here. That won't be noticeable when this is mounted because it has this bezel around it that snaps into the kind of plate with the other switches. As far as wiring it in, there was a little hole in the back here, and so I was able to wire the white over to hot. Actually, this is hot all the time, but this is hot when you turn the switch on. So that's where I wanted to have the positive wired, and then soldered the negative into this. This is the negative post here. And so just basically ran the leads. I needed to have a little bit of extra lead because of the resistor and things here. This is not real flexible, and I didn't want to break the resistor or the end of the LED there. So got that soldered and everything wired in and reassembled, and it feels good. So now it's time to go install it in the coach and see how it looks. Alrighty, I've got it installed. So I've got it installed back in the kind of bezel with the other switches here. Put in some new screws, and now we can try it out. So I push it here. I hear the pump running, although there's no water in it. And now it's got a nice bright light. So we'll have another indicator that the pump is on and it switches on and off the way it should. So I think we've got another project
fixed.